Welcome to the Deep Dive, the place where we take a stack of challenging sources, analyze the crucial nuggets of knowledge, and make sure you walk away genuinely well-informed.
Today, we're diving into a thought experiment that is equal parts terrifying and absolutely essential.
The idea is this. What would happen to human civilization if, tonight, all global production of plastic just stopped?
Instantly and permanently.
And it's a notion that, initially sounds fantastic, doesn't it? When you think about the environmental crisis, the microplastics, the landfills.
Right. The sources we looked at describe this knee-jerk reaction of relief, maybe even celebration.
Exactly. People would think, finally, we can start healing the planet.
And that is the core misconception we have to dismantle right away. That celebratory impulse, it's understandable, but it ignores how fundamentally plastic is woven into, well, everything.
So our mission today is to really unpack that paradox, that eliminating pollution could come at the immediate cost of a massive humanitarian crisis.
The sources make this chilling central argument, and it's our hook for this whole thing. It says, our world runs on plastic, but it is entirely invisible to us.
Okay, so let's track that breakdown. Where does it start?
It starts with the most basic necessity, food. The sources call it the 48-hour freeze.
The 48-hour freeze.
Precisely. When you remove new plastic from the equation, the very first failure point is mass-market food packaging.
I think most people picture a grocery bag, right? Or maybe a water bottle. And they think, oh, we'll just switch to glass or paper. Why is that not the case here?
Because we're talking logistics and food safety. On a scale that sustains billions of people.
Okay.
Over 40% of all plastic produced globally is for packaging, mostly food. Think about fresh meat, for instance.
Right.
It requires these very specific films, things like PVC or polyethylene, that are sterile and stop oxygen from getting in. It's what prevents immediate spoilage during transport.
So it's not just about holding the food, it's an active chemical barrier.
It is the barrier.
Yeah.
And once the existing stock of that plastic is gone, producers can no longer package milk or yogurt or frozen vegetables, even the tamper-proof seals on jars.
So the shelf life of almost everything in a modern grocery store just drops to zero.
Pretty much, yeah. The moment it leaves the production line, that entire cold chain, the system that moves perishable food safely across continents, it just vanishes.
So you're saying within 2 days, the shelves might not be empty, but they're full of food that can't be replaced or is already spoiling.
It's paralyzed. And then you get panic buying, which just makes it worse.
Yeah.
Bottled water becomes a luxury. The whole system just freezes because the containers needed to move safe, sterile food stop existing.
Wow. Okay. So if we can't eat, we definitely can't move. Let's pivot from that to transportation.
Right. And again, people think of a car, they think steel, aluminum.
Sure.
But the average car today has, 30,000 parts? And a good 15, maybe 20% of its weight is plastic. And it's not the decorative stuff. It's essential.
So give me some examples. What are the non-obvious parts that would just stop a car from working?
Okay, start with safety. Airbags, sensor casings, that's all high-impact polycarbonate. Then think about the electrical system.
The wiring.
Every single wire in a car or a plane is coated in a polymer for insulation. Without that, you get short circuits, you get electrical fires,
Yeah.
you get complete system failure.
So it's not the dashboard, which is what I see. It's the hidden stuff, the literal wiring that makes the car go.
Exactly. And you've also got crucial parts under the hood, the high heat nylon in radiator caps, the PTFE liners in brake lines and fuel lines. Without replacements for those seals and hoses, transportation just collapses.
So automakers halt production not because they ran out of steel, but because they ran out of gaskets.
They ran out of wiring. And that scales up globally very fast. Airlines get grounded, trucking stops, the whole network grinds to a halt within weeks because the replacement parts are gone.
Okay, so food and transport are catastrophic. But the sources say the medical crisis is even worse?
This is where we move from system collapse to life support systems failing. This is the most profound disaster in this scenario.
Because you can't just sterilize and reuse old metal tools fast enough.
You can't. What's so alarming here is that modern healthcare is built entirely on the premise of disposable plastic sterility.
Disposable sterility.
Think about the scale. Syringes, IV bags, oxygen masks, catheter tubes, surgical gloves, and the sterile packaging for every single implant and instrument.
So if production stops, hospitals immediately have to start rationing.
And the outcome is deadly. Surgeries are delayed because a sterile field becomes incredibly difficult to maintain. Infections, which disposable plastics were designed to eliminate, they just soar.
And patients who need long-term care, life support.
They are put at immediate risk. Plastic isn't just pollution here. It is, and this is the paradox, it is life-saving medical technology.
It's the material we hate for what it does to the planet, but it's also the material that ensures we survive on a mass scale.
And there's currently no lightweight, cheap, and scalable alternative that can guarantee the same level of sterility for, say, a blood bag.
So beyond the physical world, the sources also talk about a kind of technological regression.
Right, because our entire high-tech world relies on plastic as an insulator.
The thing we don't see.
Exactly. Every single piece of electronics, your phone, a router in a data center, it all relies on plastic. If you look inside, you see polymers used for their electrical insulation, their heat resistance. You lose that.
You lose the ability to manage electricity safely.
And manufacturing just stops. Circuit boards can't be made, replacement parts run out, the internet infrastructure itself starts to degrade because you can't maintain the cables or the cooling systems in data centers. Humanity starts moving backward technologically at a shocking speed.
And while all that is happening, the most basic parts of public health, hygiene, and sanitation start to unravel.
Things we just totally take for granted. Toothbrushes, toothpaste tubes, shampoo bottles, disposable razors, diapers, feminine hygiene products. All of it relies on durable, water-resistant plastic.
But the crisis is bigger than just running out of toothpaste, isn't it?
Oh, it's systemic. I mean, ironically, plastic is what allows us to safely manage waste in cities.
The liners and garbage cans.
The liners, the heavy-duty pipes that carry sewage, the membranes that line modern landfills to prevent contamination. Without new plastic, municipal waste systems just collapse. Garbage piles up. The risk of disease skyrockets. We're back to a 19th century public health crisis within weeks.
The sources call it the invisible skeleton of civilization.
That's a great way to put it. And it extends to industries you wouldn't even think of. The clothing industry is heavily reliant on polyester, nylon. Those are plastics.
Right.
Construction uses PVC for pipes, polymers for paint and sealants. Agriculture uses huge amounts of polyethylene film for irrigation.
So if all those supply chains are breaking, we're looking at a global economic meltdown.
That's the final consequence. The plastic industry itself is worth, what, around $580 billion.
Yeah.
But its disappearance disrupts industries worth trillions.
So millions of people lose their jobs, and not just in plastic factories. We're talking auto workers, tech workers, retail, anyone who needs to package or ship a product.
It's a domino effect. Financial markets go into freefall. Governments panic because everything is failing at once. And black markets for the remaining plastic pop up almost overnight. It's the collapse of the modern economy.
Which brings us to the ultimate irony in this whole terrifying scenario.
There is one positive outcome.
Pollution drops sharply. The oceans start to recover. Microplastic levels stabilize.
It's the environmental win.
Yeah.
But the cost is hunger, medical collapse, technological regression. The environmental win is delivered through a humanitarian disaster.
So if this were happening, what would humanity even try to do? What are the alternatives?
They'd scramble. They'd pivot to glass, metal, bamboo, ceramic, paper.
But as you said at the start, those aren't quick fixes. Why do they fail overnight?
3 reasons: weight, cost, and scalability. Glass and metal are heavy. That drives up transportation costs, which means higher carbon emissions anyway.
Okay.
And they just don't have the same sterile barrier properties you need for a lot of medical and food applications.
And the third one, scalability, that sounds like the real killer.
It's the choke point. You cannot just decide to ramp up global glass production by 400% in a year. It would take decades of investment, mining, retooling the entire global infrastructure.
So a plastic-free world, it's a great goal, but it needs a transition, not a cliff edge.
Exactly. And that's the critical realization you get from this thought experiment. Plastic itself isn't the enemy.
Waste is the enemy. Poor design is the enemy.
That's it. The solution isn't catastrophic elimination. It's intelligent design. We have to redesign plastics to be biodegradable, recyclable, reusable, and sustainable. That's the only way forward.
That's the ultimate takeaway then. Plastic is woven into every corner of our lives, from the insulation in our phones to the sterile packaging for our medicine. A sudden stop would be just terrifying.
And understanding the deep dependency is the first step toward managing it responsibly.
So for your final thought to mull over, consider one item you rely on daily, maybe the simple medication you take, and reflect on how many invisible plastic components, from the high-heat polymers and the manufacturing equipment to the sterile blister pack it comes in, keep that product safe, affordable, and functioning for you.
Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the cost of modern materials.
See you in the next video.